and at the very least, just kind of touch that compass a little bit and see what happens, and take it from there. You know that's it's your own journey. You'll find out things about yourself. Um, and you'll find out also that people have been having a serious conversation about the human condition for a long time. It might even be refreshing to you that you'll find out that people for a long time have been having conversations about the human condition at, I'm just gonna say it, probably a much richer and deeper level than you're experiencing now. It's, I don't think it's on accident that there's great writers who seem to be able to explain the human condition very well. Um, and so, obviously reality has been trending in a direction where biologically we it helps us to reflect on the past, on this idea of memory. Um, um, and so there's probably, if you get into mindfulness, if you get into meditation, there's probably a part of your psyche that will eventually awaken to new ideas. Um, and it will probably change your interaction with reality. And I think that's kind of where Sam leaves you. Uh, I kind of felt like when I was doing his meditation stuff, where he just kind of says, go try to be rational go try to be rational for a while. Um, and and I think he thinks that if everybody can become rational, then we'll live in a better world. I don't know. I'm open to that idea, but I, you know, I don't know if that would, I don't know. I think the survival narrative of life would continue and the cycles would continue, although they would be different. Um, but I think he's got a great argument. He kind of says, you start to become a more rational human being. Um, start to figure things out. For a lot of us, I feel like that's exactly what he was saying. Um, he believes in the idea of rationality and the idea of mindfulness and meditation. He puts out those meditation videos, and it's basically saying, like, if you stop and think about what type of conclusions would you draw, like, that's the game he's playing. That's um that's you know the idea of rationality. And he's got his he's got his I think he called himself a moral philosopher. He's got his he seems very, grounded in his belief, his ideologies, his beliefs. Um, and that within itself is a feat. That's uh, a pretty amazing feat, I believe. And he's basically saying, yeah, go try to be rational. Go try to, have a conversation in life in which you're participating in it. You're thinking, you're writing, you're speaking um, about the ideas that you believe in. You're interacting with, the conversation that you are having in life is this interesting one. Includes this idea of rationality. And I think that's a great example of this idea of mindfulness, of this idea of meditation. And I think that's a great direction for the individual as it constitutes anybody, the citizen, the family member, the just just the person just caught up in the tribe, and also all the way down to these ideas like maybe Thoreau's ideas of the self, uh, you know, some state of consciousness where you're more aware of the self. Um, I think it would be I think it's a good I think the conversations that all those that group that constitutes the individual found in the tribe just living, and also maybe in a cabin somewhere meditating. um I think he's saying to to everybody, the conversations that you're participating in life can be going better. You can be having a better experience as you live here. And so, um, he's being serious. That's a serious conversation that you can also have. And, he's basically just saying kind of embrace rationality a little bit. If you really believe those things, why do you really believe those things? And that's a great place for the psyche to be trending. I think for the individual to be trending, for the human condition to be trending. And so, um, mindfulness, these are some of the benefits of mindfulness. You'll get into mindfulness and you'll start focusing on your breath, and you will start to focus on yourself in a different way, and it'll kind of reveal that it kind of actuate these senses. You'll notice these senses more. You'll practice that. Spend some time there. You'll get the body spending some time there, spending biological response time there in this state of it's kind of you slip into the state where your heart rate has lowered, it's beating slower and it's noticeable because the change, your breathing is slowing down.